Have you ever wondered if a simple coin could change your financial future? Picture this. You walk into your local store, pay for your groceries, and as the cashier hands you your change, you notice something unusual. A penny. Not just any penny, but a 1984 Abraham Lincoln penny without a mint mark. Is it worth anything? Should you hold onto it? Today, we are going to dive deep into the fascinating world of the 1984 no mint mark Lincoln penny and explore why this coin has caught the attention of collectors and numismatists alike. Stick around as we uncover its history, value, and how you might have a rare gem sitting right in your pocket. Let's start with a little history. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, has been one of the most iconic and beloved coins in American history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This coin has undergone many changes throughout the years, with different designs and mint marks used to distinguish where the coin was struck. Now, let's focus on 1984. The United States Mint in Philadelphia was responsible for producing the majority of coins that year. Normally, each coin made in Philadelphia is marked with a P mint mark, indicating its origin. However, in 1984, a small number of Lincoln pennies were struck without a mint mark. This was an unusual error because coins minted in Philadelphia typically have this letter to identify them. The reason why this missing mint mark is important has to do with the way coins are typically produced and identified. Most pennies that come from the Philadelphia Mint in 1984 should have a P on them. But the absence of the mint mark on a small number of these coins created confusion and rarity, making them highly sought after by coin collectors. Now, let's talk about how you can identify a genuine 1984 no mint mark penny. First, you need to carefully examine the coin. Most importantly, check the obverse side of the penny, where you'll see Abraham Lincoln's portrait. Normally, you would expect to see a P near the bottom, but if there is no mint mark at all, you could be holding one of these rare coins. Look closely at the overall condition of the coin as well. While wear and tear can occur from years of circulation, the lack of a mint mark is the key feature that defines this particular penny. A genuine 1984 no mint mark penny will be made of copper and will weigh approximately 3.11 grams. If your coin doesn't meet these specifications or if it doesn't appear authentic, then it may not be the rare 1984 penny we're talking about today. So, let's break down the key details of the 1984 no mint mark penny. As mentioned, it was made of copper, which was the standard material for pennies at the time. Its weight is typically 3.11 grams, and it measures about 19 millimeters in diameter. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln's profile, and the reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial. As was typical for pennies produced during that period. One of the most important features of this penny is the lack of a mint mark. If you're familiar with other Lincoln pennies, you'll know that coins from the Philadelphia Mint typically have the P mint mark. However, the absence of this mark on certain 1984 pennies creates a rare and valuable error that has sparked the interest of collectors. So, why is this coin so rare and valuable? It's all about rarity and demand. While the majority of pennies produced in 1984 have the P mint mark, the small number of pennies struck without one is what sets the 1984 no mint mark penny apart from the rest. Due to the fact that it was an unexpected error, only a limited number of these coins exist today. This rarity is what drives its value, as collectors are always on the lookout for unique and hard-to-find coins. The absence of the mint mark also makes this penny a fascinating piece of history. Minting errors happen occasionally in coin production, and when they do, they often result in coins that become highly desirable to collectors. This particular error has been noted by numismatists as an interesting part of the 1984 penny's legacy. Now, let's talk about the market value of the 1984 no mint mark penny. As with any coin, the condition plays a huge role in determining its worth. If your penny is worn or heavily circulated, it may only be worth a few dollars, perhaps even a little less. But if the coin is in better condition, meaning it's uncirculated, with clear details and minimal wear, you could be looking at a value in the range of $10 to $50. Coins that are graded and certified by a reputable coin grading service, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can fetch even higher prices depending on their grade. For example, an uncirculated 1984 no-mint mark penny in pristine condition could sell for several $100s or more in a coin auction. In fact, in some rare cases, a certified 1984 no-mint mark penny has been sold for as much as $1,000, depending on its condition and the market demand at the time of the sale. This just goes to show that, while not every 1984 penny will make you rich, finding one in good condition, or even better, one that's been professionally graded, could prove to be a very lucrative discovery. To give you a better sense of the value, let's look at a few real-world examples of how much these coins have sold for at auction. In recent years, certified 1984 no-mint mark pennies in excellent condition have fetched anywhere from $200 to $1,000 or more, depending on their grade and the buyer's interest. One particular 1984 penny, graded MS67, meaning it's in mint state with virtually no wear, was sold for over $1,000 at a major coin auction. These examples demonstrate that if you happen to find a well-preserved 1984 no-mint mark penny, you could potentially cash in on your discovery. Even if your penny is only in fair condition, it still has the potential to be worth more than the average penny. It's worth checking your spare change or any old pennies you have lying around to see if you've got one of these rare finds. So, to wrap it all up, the 1984 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a rare and valuable coin that has piqued the interest of collectors and numismatists for years. While not every penny from 1984 is worth a fortune, discovering one of these error coins could certainly add some extra value to your collection, or even bring you a nice surprise at auction. The key is to look closely at your pennies, identify any possible minting errors, and take good care of your collection. If you happen to find one of these rare 1984 no-mint mark pennies, you could be sitting on a small treasure. So, check your change, dust off your old coins, and see if you've got one of these hidden gems. You never know, it could be worth more than you think. If you enjoyed learning about this rare penny, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos on valuable coins, coin collecting, and the fascinating world of numismatics. Who knows? Your next discovery might just be your ticket to a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Hello and welcome, everyone. Let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever reached into your pocket, pulled out some loose change, and thought, is any of this actually worth more than a penny? Well, today we're going to talk about a very special coin that might be hiding right under your nose. It's the 1988 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and believe it or not, this little copper beauty could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. One penny, just 1 cent, possibly sitting in a jar on your kitchen counter, could be a valuable collector's item. If you're someone who enjoys coin collecting, rare pennies, or just wants to know what hidden treasures are out there, you're in the right place. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the fascinating story behind the 1988 Lincoln penny without a mint mark and why it's causing such a stir among coin collectors today. Let's begin with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent, featuring the image of our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, marked the first time a real person appeared on a circulating American coin. By 1988, the penny had already gone through a few design and composition changes. The most notable was in 1982 when the U.S. Mint switched from primarily copper coins to zinc ones coated in copper due to rising metal costs. But something else happened in 1988 that collectors are still talking about. That year, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies across 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins made in Philadelphia typically don't carry a mint mark, while those from Denver are marked with a small d, and coins from San Francisco, which are usually proofs, show an S. But the 1988 penny without a mint mark holds a surprise. Some of them were struck using a reverse design that actually belonged to the following year, 1989. This created what is known as a transitional design error. So how can you tell if your 1988 penny is one of the rare and valuable ones? This is where things get interesting. First, check the front of the coin. You'll see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. The date should clearly read 1988, and if it has no mint mark underneath the date, that means it was made in Philadelphia. But that alone isn't enough to make it rare. The key lies on the back of the coin, specifically in the design of the letters FG next to the base of the Lincoln Memorial. These initials stand for Frank Gasparro, the designer of the memorial reverse dot on a normal 1988 penny. The G in FG should have a hook tail, which is part of the 1988 design. However, the rare coin shows a G that lacks this hook because it was mistakenly struck using the reverse die intended for 1989. This kind of mistake is known as a transitional reverse error. It means that the mint accidentally used the new die before it was officially supposed to. These kinds of errors are rare, and collectors love them. Here are the key details you should know. Weight: the 1988 Lincoln penny weighs 2.5 grams if it's made from zinc with a thin copper coating. If it happens to weigh 3.11 grams, it's an earlier copper version, still valuable but not necessarily the one with the 1989 reverse material. Most 1988 pennies are composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. Mint mark: the rare version has no mint mark and shows the reverse design intended for the following year, 1989. Error: look closely at the FG initials on the reverse. If the G is missing the curved tail, you might have the rare transitional error. What makes this penny so valuable is its rarity. Not many of these error coins were made, and even fewer have been found in good condition. The U.S. Mint does not officially acknowledge how many of these slipped through quality control, but experts believe the number is extremely low. Collectors go wild for these transitional errors because they're essentially mistakes that were never meant to exist. And when a coin is both rare and a mistake, it becomes a prized find. So how much is a 1988 no mint mark penny with the 1989 reverse really worth? Worn condition: if your coin is heavily circulated and shows signs of wear, it could still sell for $100 to $250. Circulated but in better shape: if it's been handled but still shows most of the detail, collectors might pay $300 to $500. Uncirculated condition: a clean, sharp coin with no signs of wear can fetch anywhere from $800 to $1,500, depending on appeal. Certified and graded coins: if your coin is professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC and receives a high grade, prices can skyrocket. In fact, one certified example sold at auction for over $3,000. That's right. One penny, one tiny piece of metal, sold for thousands of dollars simply because of a small error and a missing mint mark. Here are some real-world examples to consider. In 2021, a 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny with the reverse of 1989, graded MS65 read by PCGS, sold at auction for $3,360. Another circulated version, not quite as pristine, still managed to sell for over $500 on an online auction site. These numbers are not fantasy. They are real, verified sales that show the value this coin can hold if it's in the right condition. So what does this mean for you? It means that you might be sitting on a gold mine. That old coffee can full of pennies in your garage, or the change you got back from the grocery store could contain one of these hidden treasures. The key is to know what to look for. Take your time. Get a magnifying glass. Look closely at your 1988 pennies. If there's no mint mark and the reverse shows the flat G without a hook in the FG, you might have just struck it rich. Even if you don't find one, learning how to spot rare coins is part of the fun. Coin collecting is a relaxing, rewarding hobby that's perfect for anyone, especially those of us with a little more time on our hands and a good eye for detail. Now, before you head to the couch to start digging through your spare change, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another video about rare coins, valuable pennies, and hidden treasures you might already own. Leave a comment below if you think you've found one of these rare 1988 no mint mark pennies. And remember, check your change, you never know what you might find. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting. Have you ever come across a coin that made you stop and wonder, is this worth something? Well, if you're a coin collector or just someone who enjoys looking through your spare change, there's one specific coin you might want to pay extra attention to: the 1993 Abraham Lincoln penny without a mint mark. It may look like any other penny, but this coin is one of the rarest, most sought-after pennies in circulation today. In fact, it could be worth a lot more than its face value if you know what to look for. But how can you tell if you found one? And why is it so valuable? Let's dive into the history, the rarity, and what makes this coin truly special. Before we talk about why this penny is so valuable, let's take a step back in time to understand how it came to be. In 1993, the United States Mint released a special batch of pennies. Most of these pennies were produced in the Philadelphia Mint, which is the main mint where U.S. coins are made. But something unusual happened that year. A small batch of pennies was struck without a mint mark. Normally, pennies from Philadelphia are supposed to have a P mint mark on them. However, in 1993, for reasons that are still unclear, some of the pennies were struck without this crucial identifying mark. Now, most of us don't think much of mint marks when we handle our change. But when a coin doesn't have the mint mark it becomes a rarity. And when it comes to coins, rarity equals value. So how can you tell if the penny you found is a genuine 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny? First, you need to take a good look at the coin. A 1993 penny should have the image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, facing to the right, with the words, "In God We Trust," and the year 1993 inscribed around him. The reverse side should feature the familiar design of the Lincoln Memorial with the words "E Pluribus Unum" above it and "United States of America" and 1 cent below, but here's the key. Look closely at the spot where you would normally find the mint mark. On a regular 1993 penny, this would be the small p next to the date, indicating that the coin was minted in Philadelphia. If you don't see that P, that's your sign that you might be holding a rare coin. Let's take a moment to talk about the physical characteristics of the 1993 penny and the importance of its weight, material, and any errors that may appear. A 1993 penny weighs 2.5 grams and is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. This composition is consistent with most pennies from the late 20th century, so it shouldn't feel too different from the other pennies you've encountered. The most important thing to note about this coin, however, is the absence of the mint mark. There have been various theories about why this happened, but no one knows for sure. The fact that it was an error, whether intentional or accidental, adds to its rarity. There are no other major errors typically associated with this coin, but its lack of mint mark makes it stand out. Now that you know what to look for, let's discuss why this coin is so valuable. The 1993 no mint mark penny is rare because only a limited number of them were produced and they're difficult to find today. While most pennies are struck with the P mint mark in Philadelphia, the error batch from 1993 went unnoticed by many, meaning that collectors and investors didn't immediately snatch them up. As time has passed, however, coin collectors have recognized just how rare these unmarked pennies are. Coins like these are considered key date coins in the world of coin collecting. A key date coin is a coin that is especially difficult to find because of its rarity or because of a unique mistake during production. Because of this, the 1993 no mint mark penny has steadily increased in value over the years and it continues to be a desirable piece for collectors. Now, you might be wondering, how much is this penny worth? The answer depends on its condition. Just like any collectible, the better the condition, the more valuable the coin. If you find a 1993 no mint mark penny that's heavily worn or circulated, it may only be worth a few dollars, maybe $5 to $10, depending on how rare it is in your area, but if the penny is in uncirculated condition, it could be worth significantly more. A coin in excellent condition with no signs of wear could fetch anywhere from $50 to $200 or more. If your penny is graded and certified by a professional grading service, it could be worth even more. In the most extreme cases, a perfectly preserved 1993 no mint mark penny has been known to sell for over $1,000 at auction. The bottom line is, the value of this coin can vary greatly depending on its condition and whether it has been professionally graded. To give you a clearer idea of what these coins are really worth, let's look at some real-life examples. In recent years, auction houses have sold 1993 no mint mark pennies in various conditions. In one auction, an uncirculated example of this coin sold for $800, much higher than what you might expect from a typical penny. In another auction, a slightly worn coin went for $150, which is still a nice return for a simple penny. These real examples show that the 1993 no mint mark penny is more than just pocket change. It's a coin that can truly fetch a significant price if you're lucky enough to find one. So how can you get lucky with this coin? It's simple, start looking through your spare change. Check your piggy bank, your old coin jars, or any loose change you have lying around. It might seem unlikely, but finding a 1993 no mint mark penny could be your ticket to something special. Even if you don't find one of these rare pennies right away, remember that coin collecting is all about the hunt. And who knows? You might come across a valuable coin that you never expected to find. It's always worth checking. If you want to stay up to date on more rare coin discoveries and learn how to identify other valuable coins, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll keep bringing you the best tips and information to help you build your collection and maybe even make a fortune along the way. So check your change, keep your eyes peeled, and happy hunting. Have you ever checked your spare change and thought, what if one of these old pennies is worth a small fortune? Well, today might just be your lucky day, because hidden in jars, drawers, and purses across America is a little copper-colored coin that could be worth far more than just 1 cent. It's the 2001 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. That's right. A coin that most people ignore every single day might just hold a hidden treasure. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the fascinating world of rare pennies, coin collecting, and one very specific penny that might just change your life. Let's begin with a little history. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909. It was created to honor the 100th birthday of our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. Before that, pennies featured symbols like the Indian head and the flying eagle. The Lincoln design was a big shift. It was the first time a real person appeared on a U.S. coin. Since then, it has become one of the most collected and recognized coins in American history. Now fast forward to 2001. In that year, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the familiar Lincoln Memorial design. The front of the coin features Lincoln's profile and the back shows the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This design remained in place until 2008, just before the switch to the 2009 bicentennial designs. Most of these 2001 pennies are common. Billions were made, but not all of them are ordinary. Some have something missing. Something small, but very important. They're missing a mint mark, and that's where things get interesting. So how do you know if you have one of these rare 2001 Lincoln pennies without a mint mark? Here's what to look for. First, turn the coin to the front. The side with Abraham Lincoln's portrait. Look just below the date. That's where the mint mark should be. If the penny was made in Philadelphia, it will not have a mint mark at all. That's normal for most pennies. However, some collectors get excited when they see a 2001 penny with no mint mark because they assume it must be an error or rare. And in some cases, it can be, but here's the truth: all 2001 pennies made in Philadelphia were produced without a mint mark. So, a 2001 penny with no mint mark is not automatically rare. However, there are still versions of the 2001 Lincoln penny that can be very valuable, especially if they contain errors. Let's talk about the technical side of the 2001 Lincoln penny. Weight: a standard 2001 penny weighs 2.5 grams. Material: it is made primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating. Since 1982, pennies have been made this way. Mint marks: no mint mark equals Philadelphia, D equals Denver's equals San Francisco. Now, here's where it gets more exciting: errors. Certain 2001 pennies have been found with striking errors, which can increase their value dramatically. These include off-center strikes, where the design is not centered on the coin; double die obverse, where parts of the coin's front design, like the date or the word Liberty, appear double-clipped; planchet errors, where a piece of the coin appears to be missing or cut; broad strikes, coins that were struck without the retaining collar and appear wider than usual. If you find a 2001 penny with one of these errors, you could be holding on to something worth far more than face value. So what makes a 2001 no mint mark penny valuable? It all comes down to condition and errors. A typical 2001 penny with no mint mark in circulated condition is not rare. But if that same coin is in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if it has a rare error, it can become quite valuable. Collectors are always searching for high-grade examples, coins that look brand new, with no scratches, dents, or discoloration. A 2001 penny that has been graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC as MS67 or higher can fetch a good price, especially if the coin has an error. Let's talk money. How much are these pennies actually worth? Circulated condition: around 1 to 5 cents. Uncirculated condition: 10 to 50 cents. Certified high-grade condition: $10 to $50, depending on grade. Rare error pennies: $100 or more. Now, here's where things get exciting. Let's look at some real auction results. A 2001 Lincoln penny with a double die error in mint state condition sold $4.150. A coin graded MS 68 red by PCGS sold for over $250 due to its immaculate surface and vibrant color. A broad-struck 2001 penny recently went for $90 in an online auction. So, while most 2001 pennies are worth just a cent, the rare and high-grade ones can bring in serious money. Here's the bottom line: if you're someone who has a jar of old change sitting at home, or if you handle cash on a regular basis, you could be holding on to one of these valuable coins and not even know it. Check your 2001 pennies. Look for unusual features, shiny uncirculated surfaces, or strange printing errors. If you find something that looks out of the ordinary, it might be worth sending it to a coin grading service. Many people have struck it lucky with coins they found in their everyday pocket change. You could be next. So before you cash in that change jar or ignore that old penny on the ground, take a closer look. It might just be a 2001 Lincoln penny worth far more than 1 cent. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more fascinating stories about rare coins, valuable pennies, and the hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your home. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting. Have you ever wondered if a simple penny in your pocket could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? What if I told you that a coin minted in 1964, something many of us have likely held in our hands, could be a hidden treasure? Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1964 Lincoln penny, a coin that could be sitting in your coin jar, purse, or even in your dresser drawer right now. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why this particular penny is getting so much attention among collectors. You might even get lucky and strike it rich. Let's take a step back in time to 1964. The United States was experiencing a period of change. The economy was strong, the civil rights movement was in full swing, and Americans were seeing new designs on their coinage. But one thing that stayed the same was the classic Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature the likeness of an actual historical figure, and it quickly became a staple in American currency. By 1964, the coin was still being minted in the same familiar design. Lincoln's portrait on the front, or obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, or reverse. But something special happened in 1964, particularly at the Denver Mint. A high number of these pennies were produced, but some contained errors, rare varieties, and minting quirks that would make them stand out for decades to come. So how can you tell if you have a real 1964 Lincoln penny? Start by checking the date on the front of the coin, just below Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. If it reads 1964, you're off to a good start. Next, look for the mint mark. The letter D, which stands for the Denver Mint, will appear just below the date. If it's there, you have a 1964 Lincoln penny. But remember, not all 1964 pennies are valuable. What makes a particular one worth more depends on its condition, any minting errors, and whether it has been certified by a professional coin grading service. Let's take a closer look at the physical characteristics of the 1964 Lincoln penny. Weight: 3.11 grams. Material: 95% copper, 5% zinc. Diameter: 19 millimeters. Edge: plain mint mark, the D, indicating it was made at the Denver Mint. Now, what really gets collectors excited are the errors and varieties found in some of these coins. Look out for double die errors where the design appears slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during minting. These are often most noticeable in the lettering on the obverse side of the coin, especially in words like Liberty or In God We Trust. There are also cases of repunched mint marks where the D appears to have been stamped more than once in slightly different positions. These are known as RPM errors or repunched mint mark varieties. You might be wondering, if millions of these coins were made, how can one be rare? Great question. While the Denver Mint did produce a large number of these pennies, over 3.7 billion, only a small number of them have those rare errors or are still in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coins that were set aside in 1964 and never spent, never scratched, and never aged are now considered uncirculated, and they are highly sought after by collectors. Add in a rare minting error or a high professional grade from companies like PCGS or NGC, and you've got yourself a penny that can fetch a surprising price. Let's talk numbers. A worn 1964 penny, the kind you'd normally find in everyday change, is worth just about 1 cent. Maybe a couple of cents if you find the right buyer, but a circulated coin in better than average condition? That might bring in anywhere from 25 cents to a few dollars depending on demand. An uncirculated 1964 penny, graded at MS65 or higher by a professional service, can be worth $10 to $50 or more. Now here's where it gets exciting. A 1964 Lincoln penny with a visible double die error has sold at auction for over $500. One exceptional example. Graded MS67 red by PCGS, which means it was nearly perfect and still had its original red copper luster, sold for over $1,500. So yes, a penny, just one. Penny could be worth a small fortune if it checks all the right boxes. So what does this mean for you? It means that every time you reach into your pocket, every time you check your spare change or go through your old coin jar, you could be holding a 1964 Lincoln penny that's worth far more than just 1 cent, especially if you have coins passed down from parents or grandparents or a drawer full of old change that hasn't been sorted in years. Now is the time to take a closer look. If you find one in great condition or with an unusual error, consider getting it professionally graded. That simple step could turn a penny into a payday. Before you head off, do this. Check your change. Search your old jars and coin rolls. Look for that 1964 penny. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel for more information about rare pennies, valuable coins, and everything you need to know about coin collecting. Hit that like button and share this with a friend who might have an old coin collection collecting dust. You never know, the next rare coin might already be in your hands. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Have you ever held a penny and wondered if it might be worth more than just 1 cent? What if I told you that a simple 1987 Lincoln penny, the kind you might find in your change jar or tucked away in a drawer, could actually be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Today, we're diving into the mystery and potential value of the 1987 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. This might just be the most valuable penny hiding right under your nose. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, was designed to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and it replaced the Indian head cent that had been in circulation for over 50 years. Fast forward to 1987. The United States Mint was producing billions of pennies each year using 3 different mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia, in particular, often produced coins with no mint mark, especially for pennies. So when we talk about a 1987 penny with no mint mark, we're usually referring to coins minted in Philadelphia. But here's where things get interesting. Not all 1987 no mint mark pennies are created equal. Some of them have unique features, errors, or conditions that make them extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. If you're holding a 1987 penny in your hand right now, here's how to tell if it's the real deal. First, flip it over and look for the year 1987 on the front side, also known as the obverse. Right under the year, you should not see a small letter like D or S. If there's no letter, then it's a no mint mark coin, which likely means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Now, check for Lincoln's profile. Make sure the coin hasn't been damaged, altered, or cleaned. Collectors prefer coins in their original, unaltered state. Then turn the coin over to the reverse side. You should see the Lincoln Memorial. Make sure everything looks crisp and centered. Misalignments or unusual markings could mean the coin has an error, which can increase its value. Here are some specific details you'll want to keep in mind. Weight: 2.5 grams. Material: 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. Diameter: 19 millimeters. Edge: plain mint mark, none. Design: Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Now let's talk about errors, because this is where things get exciting. Some 1987 no mint mark pennies were struck off-center, have doubled dies, or show unusual colorations due to improper metal mixes. These are the coins that can be worth significantly more than face value. So what makes the 1987 no mint mark penny potentially valuable? While it's true that millions were made, only a small number exist in pristine condition or with rare errors. Coins with errors or in uncirculated condition are highly desirable to collectors. Certified coins, meaning coins that have been graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, tend to fetch the highest prices, especially if they are graded MS 65 or higher. MS stands for mint state and indicates a coin that has never been in circulation and shows no signs of wear. Here's what you can expect if you happen to have a 1987 no mint mark penny. Worn condition: 1 to 5 cents. Circulated but in good condition: 5 to 20 cents. Uncirculated: $1 to $5. Certified MS 65 or higher: $10 to $50. Rare errors or doubled die coins: $100 to over $1,000. Let's take a look at a few real-life examples. In 2021, a 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny graded MS 67 by PCGS sold at auction for $1,500 due to its pristine condition and a minor doubling error. Another example, a collector found a 1987 penny with a striking off-center error and sold it on eBay for $300. Even a simple Shiny, uncirculated 1987 penny in a plastic sleeve has been known to sell for $20 to $40 to the right buyer. That's a big return on a 1-cent coin. So could you strike it rich with a 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? The answer is yes if you have the right one. While most of these coins are common, a rare error, high grade, or unique condition can make yours incredibly valuable. All it takes is one special coin to make a big difference. Here's what I want you to do next. Go check your coin jars, your old piggy banks, and even the bottom of your dresser drawers. Look for 1987 pennies with no mint mark and pay close attention to their condition and any unusual features. If you find one that looks special, consider having it appraised or graded. And if you enjoy learning about rare coins, valuable pennies, and how to make money from your change, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. We've got more exciting content coming about coin collecting, rare US coins, and the hidden treasures you might already own. Thank you for watching, and good luck hunting for that rare 1987 penny. You never know, your next big discovery might be sitting right in your pocket. Have you ever wondered if a simple penny in your pocket could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Imagine digging through your spare change and finding a coin that could change your day or your life. Today, we're talking about the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but could actually be a hidden treasure. Welcome to the channel where we talk about rare coins, coin collecting, and how even the smallest piece of change can hold incredible value. If you're over 65, this is the perfect place to reconnect with history, discover valuable coins, and maybe even make a little money along the way. Let's take a deep dive into the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny and why this coin has collectors all across the country checking their change. The Lincoln cent or penny has a rich and fascinating history. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. Over the years, the design has evolved, but Lincoln has remained the proud face of the penny. Fast forward to 2016. This year marked the 108th anniversary of the Lincoln cent, and it continued to be one of the most commonly circulated coins in the United States. But among the millions of pennies produced that year, something unusual caught the eyes of collectors, a particular version of the 2016 Lincoln penny that appeared to have no mint mark. That small detail could make all the difference between a regular coin and one that's incredibly valuable. Now, how do you know if the penny you have is the right one? Let's start with the basics. The 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. In 2017, the Philadelphia Mint began placing a small P mint mark on the penny for the first time ever. But in 2016 and before, Philadelphia pennies did not carry a mint mark. So if your 2016 penny has no mint mark under the date, don't worry, it might still be completely normal. But what makes some of these 2016 no mint mark pennies valuable are the errors and specific features. You want to look for things like doubling on the lettering, especially on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Also, check the date. If you see what's called die doubling or a die crack, those can significantly increase a coin's value. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the coin closely. Look at Lincoln's eye, his jawline, and even the rim of the coin for any signs of unusual markings or misprints. These little imperfections are exactly what collectors are hunting for. Here are some key facts to help you identify the coin. Weight: the 2016 Lincoln penny weighs approximately 2.5 grams. Material: it is made from 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. Diameter: about 19 millimeters. Design: it features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse or front and the Union shield on the reverse or back. Mint mark: if there's no mint mark under the year, it was made in Philadelphia. That is normal. But keep an eye out for errors and doubling, which make some of these pennies rare. So why are people paying big money for a penny that was minted by the millions? It all comes down to errors and condition. While the no mint mark itself is not an error, the value skyrockets when these coins have mistakes like double dies, die cracks, off center strikes, clipped planchets. Coins with these errors are incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. Combine a minting error with an uncirculated or near-mint condition, and you have a coin that could be worth a small fortune. Let's talk numbers. A worn or heavily circulated 2016 penny with no mint mark usually sells for face value just 1 cent. A circulated coin with minor doubling might bring in $5 to $10. An uncirculated version with strong error features like doubling or off-center strikes can sell for $50 to $100. sometimes even more. A certified 2016 penny graded by NGC or PCGS, especially with a known error, has sold at auctions for upwards of $500 or more. And here's a real example. In 2021, a 2016 Lincoln penny with a dramatic die crack and pristine condition sold for over $1,000 in an online coin auction. That's right, $1,000 for a penny. So, could you get lucky and find one of these rare coins in your change? Absolutely. These pennies are still out there, hiding in plain sight. That's the beauty of coin collecting. Every coin tells a story, and some of them are worth far more than you'd ever expect. If you've got a jar of coins lying around, now's the perfect time to go through them. Look closely at your 2016 pennies. You might be holding onto a valuable error coin and not even know it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable pennies, coin collecting tips, and rare US coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to check your change, because the next time you hand over a penny, you might be giving away a small fortune. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. And stay tuned for our next video where we'll uncover more hidden treasures from your pocket change. Happy collecting and good luck! Have you ever held a simple penny in your hand and wondered, could this be worth more than just 1 cent? What if I told you that a common-looking Lincoln penny from 1977 with no mint mark could be hiding in your change right now? And it might be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Today, we're diving deep into the 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a fascinating coin that every collector and treasure hunter should know about. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who enjoys finding value in the little things, this video could change the way you look at your loose change forever. So sit back, relax, and let's take a journey into the rich history, hidden value, and surprising details of this humble penny. To understand why the 1977 Lincoln penny is so interesting, we have to go back in time to the late 1970s. This was a period of change in the United States, both socially and economically. The country had just come out of the Vietnam War, inflation was high, and every cent counted. Quite literally, the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation since 1909, commemorating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. By 1977, the Lincoln penny had gone through a few minor design updates, but its iconic image remained strong. Pennies from the year were minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Here's the key detail: Philadelphia minted pennies typically have no mint mark. So if your 1977 penny has no letter under the date, it was made in Philadelphia. But wait, not all 1977 no mint mark pennies are the same. Some are much more valuable than others. So how do you identify a genuine and valuable 1977 no mint mark penny? First, let's go over the basic characteristics. Obverse design. You'll see Abraham Lincoln's portrait facing right. Reverse design. It features the Lincoln Memorial. Date: 1977 mint mark. None. Weight: 3.11 grams. Metal composition: 95% copper, 5% zinc. Diameter: 19 millimeters. If your 1977 penny matches these details and shows no mint mark under the date, that's the standard Philadelphia strike. But what makes some of these pennies worth much more? Let's talk about errors and condition. Some 1977 pennies are valuable because of minting errors. These can include double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled, especially around the date or lettering. Off-center strikes, when the design is not centered on the coin. Die cracks or cuds, raised lines or blobs from a damaged minting die. Coins with these rare errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and visibility of the flaw. Now let's talk about grading. A worn 1977 penny with no mint mark might only be worth face value, just 1 cent. But if you have a well-preserved or uncirculated coin, things get interesting. Circulated condition, usually worth 1 to 5 cents, unless there's an error. Uncirculated can sell for $1 to $5. Certified mint state coins, these can sell for $10 to $50 and sometimes even more. Rare error coins, these have sold for $100, $500, even over $1,000 in auction settings. Let me give you a few real-life examples. In one online auction, a 1977 Lincoln penny in MS67 red condition, that means it's a near-perfect shape with a bright red copper color, sold for over $2,000. Another example, a 1977 penny with a double die obverse, sold for more than $500. simply because of the error and condition combined. So what does this mean for you? It means that checking your change could actually pay off. Imagine picking up a penny off the ground or going through that old jar of coins you've kept in the back of the closet and realizing that one of those coins could be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. The 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny might look ordinary, but in the world of rare coins, valuable pennies, and coin collecting, it's a hidden gem, especially if you find one in uncirculated condition or with a rare error. You could be holding a small fortune in the palm of your hand. So here's what you should do next. Check your change. Look at those old coffee cans, your coin jar, or even your wallet. Take a closer look at your 1977 pennies, especially the ones without a mint mark. And if you spot something special, don't hesitate to get it appraised or graded. You never know. You might just get lucky. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare pennies, valuable coins, and smart tips for coin collecting, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've got more fascinating coin stories, market updates, and collecting secrets coming your way. Thank you for watching and happy treasure hunting.